How you doing? Today I got up at 5 o'clock and worked out for a little while, and about 5:45 I started making my way over to the church because I had to speak at a thing we have called the Huddle for men, and started praying for the message that I was going to give this morning, and it just struck me when I started doing that. I really hadn't been praying until about 5:40, 5:45, until I really needed God. When I was a little kid, we had rabbit's foot, and it was like a good luck charm, and you kind of rub the thing, and that gave you good luck. And I started thinking, have I reduced God to a good luck charm? That's exactly what the children of Israel did in 1 Samuel chapter 4. They had been living in sin. Their leaders were really not doing a good job. Their spiritual leaders were doing all kinds of bad things. And so they go out to battle against the Philistines, and they lose. And so what happens is they say, you know what, we just lost 4,000 guys. I got an idea. Let's bring in the Ark of the Covenant into battle. That's where God is. And they'll have to, win at that point. And in verse 5, the Bible says, when the Ark of the Lord's covenant came into the camp, all Israel raised a great shout. So the ground shook. And hearing the uproar, the Philistines asked, what's the shouting? And then the Philistines freak out. They're like, man, God came into the camp. They're going to destroy us. And then one Philistine commander says, come on, fight like men. And so they do, and guess what happens? They beat the Israelites, and they capture the Ark of the Covenant. What happens when God is reduced to a rabbit's foot? Number one, we get confidence. Yeah, we feel good. We're like, yeah, I got God on my side. How many football players say, I have God on my side, and their team loses? How many movie stars say, I got God on my side? How many Christians say, you know what, I know God's on my side, so I'll be cured from cancer or whatever else? We get confident. Number two, we get disillusioned when we use God as a rabbit's foot, some kind of a good luck charm. He doesn't come through for us because He didn't make those promises we say He made. That happens over and over and over again in our lives. And the third thing that happens is the world mocks us. The Philistines basically were mocking God by holding on to the Ark of the Covenant. Now, in chapter 5, it doesn't go so well for them when they do that. But the world mocks us. What happens when the quarterback says, hey, God told me we're going to win the game, and then you lose? Here's what you have to come down to. What are the real promises of God? Did God ever promise you that you'd be cured from cancer? Yes. On the other side of death. If you're a believer, one day you get a brand new body. However, God doesn't promise us that in this life. Man, I wish He did. I have a buddy who has a dread disease. He's 41 years old. He has MSA, and he has 2 to 3 years to live. And he preached a sermon called Jesus Our Healer, and makes the point, yes, we'll all be healed, but not necessarily on this side of the grave. Does God choose to heal some? Absolutely. He chose to raise Lazarus from the dead. But guess what? He still died. And so the bottom line is all of us are going to face death one time, and all of us are going to face defeat in different ways. But what we have to do is hold on to the real promises of God. There's 3 ways to kind of bypass this good luck charm God thing. Number 1, relationship. Focus on your relationship with God and not what He can do for you. Number 2, focus on the obedience of your own life. That's what the Israelites hadn't done. And number 3, focus on the real promises of God. What has God promised to do for you? That's something you can hold on to when you're in relationship with Him. Thanks. Have a great day.